So welcome to another episode of the Tech Hub. In today's episode, we're going to look at the iPhone 16. This one is the 16 Plus in Ultramarine. It's been 6 weeks since its launch date, so I'm going to let you know my thoughts and feelings and how I've been getting on and how this sums up for an Apple buying guide. Let's start the episode. My initial thoughts on this. So I upgrade every year because I'm a tech dude, and I'm just in that habit, but also that helps retain the value of the device that you are upgrading from to get the most for your money. So that's another reason to consider doing it every year. Number one, love the color. Obviously this is in a case. This is the actual unit. Absolutely, this color is all over their marketing for it compared to last year's pale blue white color. They've got this spot on. The camera placement as well, not only for spatial video, it just looks better, and that different color that you get in between the lenses looks magnificent as well. Obviously it's got the camera button, which I have used mainly to launch the app. It has got in the way when I'm taking photos of devices that I sell. I seem to always hit the zoom button by accident. Also, the action button came to this phone this year as well. That gets in my way and I forget that there's an extra button when I go to turn the volume up. But I am getting used to it. Overall performance, amazing. It's just snappier. I mean, go a 2-year jump in chips. Remember, this is the A18 Pro rather than the A16 from last year, and 8 gigs of RAM. It is snappier. It kind of looks and feels the same as last year, apart from the camera, but I could not be happier. So if that's enough for you to decide to get this, go get it now. If you want to know more about this phone though, including how it compares to the last two previous models, keep on watching. So on that note, let's talk about the specification this year. Starting with the display, the iPhone 16 Plus features a stunning 6.7-inch OLED screen with a 1290 by 2796 resolution. That means super sharp visuals and vibrant colors. It's got a peak brightness of 2000 nits, which is going to be an awesome for visibility even in direct sunlight. Now, like the previous model, it does have a 60 Hz refresh rate. So if you're used to higher refresh rates, as in the iPhone Pros, keep that in mind. But for most users, it's a smooth and beautiful experience. Personally, I have Pro devices that have 120 Hz, and I don't really see the difference going back to the iPhone. I don't know if it is because it's a slightly smaller display than my iPad Pro. Under the hood, this phone packs some serious power. The iPhone 16 Plus is running Apple's latest A18 chip with a 5-core GPU. This is going to boost performance across the board, faster graphics, smoother gaming, and even better power efficiency. And with 8 gigs of RAM, you'll get a solid multitasking experience. Whether you're gaming, editing, or just using multiple apps, this phone is built to handle it. And of course, that 8GB is essential for Apple Intelligence. Now let's talk about storage. You've got 3 options to choose from: 128 gigs, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes. I have the 128. I use a lot of cloud apps, so I really don't need that storage, and it's not worth the extra buyout for me. So whether you're a casual user or a power user who needs a ton of space for apps, videos, and photos, there's an option here for you. Now the camera setup on the iPhone 16 Plus has also been upgraded. It comes with a 48 megapixel primary wide camera, which captures super detailed photos even in low light. Plus, you've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with autofocus, which supports macro photography this year compared to last year. Perfect for getting those up-close shots with incredible detail. On the front, there's a 12 megapixel selfie camera, which now supports spatial photos and videos. So if you're into AR or 3D content, this is going to be a great feature for you. Of course, it's got the new camera button as well. I have made an effort to use it. It's slightly in the wrong place for me, and when I do my portrait photos of pictures of stuff I'm selling, I hit it by accident or zoom by accident. But I tend to use it to open the camera app like most people that I'm hearing about. So let's move on to battery life. Apple claims the iPhone 16 Plus gives you 27 hours of video playback, which should keep you powered through the day. Charging also got a bump. It supports up to 55 watts wire charging, so you can top up your battery pretty fast, and MagSafe wireless charging at 25 watts. This is a welcome improvement, especially if you're always on the go. Now, I never had any issues with the battery life before. It is only really 1 hour difference this year, but it's good to know. So when it comes to connectivity, the iPhone 16 Plus is future-proof. You've got 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, and yes, a USB-C port still. That means faster wireless speeds, more stable connections, and versatility of a USB-C for charging and data transfer. Now, I've seen the difference with the Wi-Fi 7. I have a Wi-Fi 6 system, and it's getting up, like mine is 1.2 gigabytes per second, and I'm hitting at least 900 gigabytes. So it works, and I can see the difference. And there are a few more features worth mentioning. The iPhone 16 Plus supports spatial photos and videos, which is perfect for augmented reality. As for colours, you've got some great options: ultramarine, teal, pink, white and black. So you can pick the one that suits for you. I of course have the ultramarine blue colour, which I absolutely love, especially since last year's very pale white/blue colour. So thanks for listening, Apple. So there you have it, the iPhone 16 Plus in a nutshell. It's a powerhouse phone with an upgraded camera, fast charging and cutting edge connectivity. If you're considering a new iPhone, this one brings some solid features to the table. So now I've gone through the spec, let's compare it to last year's iPhone 15. So first up, let's compare the display. So both models feature a 6.7-inch OLED screen, but there are some differences in brightness. The iPhone 16 Plus offers up to 1800 nits peak brightness for HDR content, while the iPhone 15 Plus maxes out at 1600 nits. This means better visibility in bright conditions on newer models. Now, I've actually seen the benefit of this recently. So a couple of weekends ago, we went to our seaside town on probably the last sunny day in the UK here. As you can see, I'm in a hoodie already. And I really did notice the brightness. I even said to my wife, look, you can still see your phone in the sunshine. It's great, so it does make a difference. So now let's dive into performance. The iPhone 16 Plus is powered by the A18 Bionic chip, built on a 3nm process, which enhances both speed and efficiency. In comparison, the iPhone 15 Plus features the A16 Bionic chip, using a 4nm process. So there was a skip in a generation, and you really do feel it. It's a lot snappier. Plus, the iPhone 16 Plus comes with 8 gigs of RAM, while the 15 Plus has 6 gigs of RAM. This extra RAM will help with multitasking and running on-device AI features more smoothly, and is essential for Apple Intelligence. And that's really where I feel the benefit is with the RAM. Just think about when you've upgraded a computer, is that boost? It's the same thing. This is a snappy phone. Moving on to the camera system, both phones come with a 48 megapixel main camera, but the iPhone 16 Plus introduces an upgraded sensor with a larger aperture, which means improved low light performance. Both models have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, but you'll notice minor improvements in low light conditions on the 16 Plus as well. And of course, that camera capture button that we already spoke about. The jury's out on this. I do see a benefit, and whenever I have had to zoom, it is handy for that. So I guess I'm still getting used to it, but it's a good button to just open the camera up. Oh, and of course the visual search thing on AI I have tested, and it works a treat. Now, battery life is always a big concern, right? The iPhone 16 Plus has a slightly larger battery capacity of about 4,674 milliamps per hour compared to the 4,383 in the iPhone 15 Plus. So it translates in about an hour. Plus, charging speeds are faster on the 16 Plus, which supports 30 watts wired charging versus 20 watts on the iPhone 15. That means less tethered to a wall. So let's not forget about the software. The iPhone 16 Plus ships with iOS 18, while the iPhone 15 Plus originally came with iOS 17, but it is upgradable to the later version. However, the iPhone 15, unless you've got the Pro model, will not support Apple Intelligence, which has just come out on 18.1 and is due in the UK in December on 18.2. In terms of connectivity, the iPhone 16 Plus Also steps up with Wi-Fi 7, whereas the iPhone 15 Plus only supports Wi-Fi 6E. This means faster and more reliable wireless connections on the newer model. Lastly, let's touch on some other features. Both phones share similar dimensions and materials, but the iPhone 16 Plus offers some new color options. Like I said, the ultramarine, I think, is the color this year, and that's very much what's on their marketing activity as well. And of course, the camera placement, they are now side to side rather than diagonal, and I think it looks better. So as for 5G capabilities, both models support mmWave and sub-6 Hz networks, but the iPhone 16 Plus has expanded band support, which can improve connectivity in more areas. So in summary, the iPhone 16 Plus offers noticeable upgrades, particularly in display brightness, performance, battery life, and connectivity. If you're coming from the iPhone 15 Plus, you might find these enhancements compelling, especially if you're into your photography or you need the extra battery life, or of course, if you do want to get on the Apple Intelligence bandwagon. So now let's go back one more year and compare it to the iPhone 14 for those people on the 2-yearly cycles. So first of all, let's compare the performance of the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 16. So the iPhone 16 is powered by the new A18 Bionic chip built with a 3nm process. This means it offers enhanced power efficiency and speed, and it's paired with 8 gigs of RAM for seamless multitasking. In contrast, the iPhone 14 Plus uses the A15 Bionic chip on a 5nm process with 6 gigs of RAM. While it still delivers solid performance, it can't quite match the efficiency and speed of the A18. If you're into gaming or heavy app usage, the 16 Plus will give you a noticeable boost, as well as that compatibility with Apple Intelligence. Moving on to the display, both the iPhone 16 Plus and the iPhone 14 Plus feature a 6.7-inch OLED display with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. However, the iPhone 16 Plus has a slightly brighter display, which improves outdoor visibility and enhances color vibrancy. Both models stick with 60 Hz refresh rate, so no changes there. And again, that always comes up every year. That will always be a pro feature when it comes to Apple. So don't think they're going to put it on the baseline phones anytime soon. Next, let's discuss the camera system. So the iPhone 16 Plus upgrades to a 48 megapixel main camera, offering improved low light performance and better detailed in images. On the other hand, the iPhone 14 Plus has a 12 megapixel main sensor, which performs well in good lighting, but falls short in low light conditions compared to the newer model. And of course, that clarity and detail of models. So this is one thing I notice every year. I do upgrade every year. It's always like that with the camera condition, and they're getting to a point now where it's going to be tough to keep on getting better. So when it comes to battery and charging, the iPhone 16 Plus features that 4,674 milliamps battery, which supports faster charging capabilities at 30-watt wired and 15-watt MagSafe. This means longer usage times and quicker charging. In contrast, the iPhone 14 Plus comes with a 4,325 battery, charging at 20-watt wired and 7.5 wireless. You'll notice slightly shorter battery life and slower charging speeds with the iPhone 14 Plus. Let's talk about software. The iPhone 16 Plus ships with iOS 18, which introduces new features like expanded customization and improved AI functionalities. The iPhone 14 Plus, while originally released with iOS 16, can be upgraded to iOS 18, but it won't have the optimization specifically designed for the newer hardware, such as the AI and all those features coming, which is the big stuff that Apple are making a shout about. The basic AI is now out in the States. It all will be coming by December with 18.2, and I've been running the beta, and I'm very, very impressed, even though I'm still on the waiting list for Image Playground, so I can't wait for that. So in terms of build and design, both models are very similar. They feature IP68 water resistance, an aluminium frame, and a glass back. Their dimensions are nearly identical, though the iPhone 16 Plus is slightly heavier at 203 grams compared to the 199 grams of the iPhone 14 Plus. You might notice the difference if you held one in each hand, but you know, no. As for the colours, the iPhone 16 Plus comes in new options like teal and ultramarine. I have the ultramarine and I adore it. While the 14 Plus has shades like midnight, and there is a product red for those of you like the product red. So what's the takeaway here? The iPhone 16 Plus offers notable improvements in processing power, camera quality and battery efficiency, while keeping the same display refresh rate and overall design style as the iPhone 14 Plus. If you're looking for enhanced performance and camera capabilities, the 16 Plus is definitely a step up. But if you're satisfied with what you have with the 14 Plus, that still remains a solid choice, as does the 15. So who are these upgrades for? The tech guys, people that upgrade every year. I would say if you're on a 13, definitely upgrade. If you're on the 14 and you can afford it, go for it. However, if you're on the 15, I wouldn't rush into anything. So that's how this stacks up compared to the last 2 years previously. The main benefits that I've seen, like I said previously, I was out on one of the last sunny days in this country, and I really noticed the difference with the brightness of the screen. It was a non-issue. I also took some really epic photos that day as well, and I do make an effort. When I make an effort to use the camera button, it is a benefit. On other times it does get in the way. So I'm not sold yet, but I'm also not against it yet either. But should you upgrade this year? It's like every year, yes, why not? It's a better phone. But should you rush into it? No. There's no rush at all. Unless you want Apple Intelligence, of course. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 16. Do you have one? Tell me your thoughts and feelings about it. Were you thinking about getting one? Has this video helped you? Please let me know in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to me. You can also follow me on Instagram and Threads at TechHubWilts UK. And I'll see you on the next episode.